Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Crash Test Games. My name is Christian and today we're going to be flying the Hammer IXII Gila. Alright, today we're going to be flying in a Raging Electrical. Now, in my last video you saw that I set up a 600 million Gila. We're going to be flying that same Gila, but we are going to go in and we're going to make a couple of changes here. There are some fairly cheap changes compared to what I'm used to flying. So we're going to go ahead and make those changes real fast. Now, the biggest change that you'll notice is that I have a Pithom and a Gistom C-type adaptive invulnerability field. The reason why I ended up with a Pithom one is because it was just a little bit like 10-15 mil more expensive than the Gistom, and it gave me 1 to 2% more in my lowest resistances. So I ended up going with that. Now you'll notice when I put these on, it doesn't make too much of a difference when it comes to power grid and CPU and everything like that. It's actually a little bit lower than the other ones. And then you'll notice that all my resistances jump up significantly from Tech 2. So let's go ahead and go back to Tech 2 real fast just so you can kind of see where that was at. So we go up from 66, 67, 76, and 80% to 74, 75, 81, and 84%. So overall, not a huge difference in kinetic and explosive, but it is a significant difference in both EM and thermal. Now we're also going to go in and put on a Pith X-type large shield booster. Now, a lot of people don't like using them simply for the fact that they have a huge capacitor need, and I am not even going to remotely downplay that. It has a huge capacitor need. Even with our basic capacitor flux coil here, we're actually going to end up becoming uncapped stable here with only 6 minutes and 14 seconds to our capacitor. Which that's fine with us because we are going to be running a Raging Electrical filament. So we just have to watch for energy neutralizers and make sure that we don't end up with a little bit more than we can chew off with energy nukes and such. Alright, with that being said, let's go ahead and undock. And then we are going to dive into the abyss. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and warp to location 1 here, and we're going to turn on our tank just in case we have somebody waiting there for us. Alright, now I also feel like it is necessary to let you guys know that as far as my character goes at this point, due to losing my previous Gila in the Abyss, I also lost my escape pod. And again, I didn't get anything replaced this time by CCP because they said it was not a server-side error. So basically, I had to start over from scratch, buy all new gear, everything like that. So what I'm running here today is no implants, no boosters, just extremely high-level skills. I mean, like my shield skills, except for my EM and my resistance compensations, really. I've pretty much got max shields for everything else. So I need, okay, apparently I'm missing a tactical shield manipulation, but that's alright, we can deal with that too. So other than that, I've got EM, kinetic, and explosive are not at level 5, and thermal as well. Everything else about my shields are level 5. My drone skills are level 5. My missile skills are level 5. My capacitor skills, everything else pretty much at level 5. So, as far as that goes, there are no implants and boosters and such. There's no super expensive mods. So we're not using any sort of Abyss mods this time. It's just T2 and faction or Dead Space mods. With that, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. Alright, now that we've changed over, we're going to go ahead and open up our general. Alright, so first thing you'll notice is that this is definitely not a T2 like my last video. So we're going to go ahead and start with a far orbit of 5,000. You know what? Let's do a 25-kilometer orbit. And let's start taking out some of these cruisers. Look for any web fires. Doesn't look like we've got too many web fires. Oh, there's one right there. We already have them locked up. Great. Alright, so we got a couple web fires, but not too many of them, so we're going to take them out first thing. We're going to start taking out escorts, just everything that we can. We're just going to start blasting for a max, or a time run instead of a loot run, just because of the fact that I did find out that my previous videos where I said that, you know, hey, go for all the other nodes and such was false. I ran a few extra tests, and you only want to go for that middle node because everything else, it saps so much time to be able to get it. You want hits per hour. You don't want to get those nodes. Now I decreased my orbit here so that we can go ahead and start moving inward towards the bioadaptive cache. Now if you notice, I immediately started orbiting at a further distance, simply so that I could tank or shrug off any additional damage that I might be taking. This tank is holding really well so far, so that's not too big of an issue for us yet. We do want to just stay ahead of the game if we can. Alright, let's start closing our orbit even more down to 5 kilometers. We do have a couple of energy neutralizers here, so we're going to start going after them in just a second. So far, with the boost from the EM field around us, we are holding very steadily at about 60% capacitor, so that's nice. It's really nice. Let's put that up there. It's kind of in the way. Sorry guys, I'm still trying to get set back up from losing my computer. My operating system, if you guys read the description in the last video, my operating system ended up becoming corrupt. My nuclear daughter decided that she was going to blame my computer and find a way to corrupt it. And she's only 2 years old, so I can't really fault her for it. These guys are really wanting my drones. Alright, we're going to just flat out approach this bioadaptive cache at this point. Turn off one of our missile launchers, lock it, so we can just keep moving. Alright, that was a 9 million ISK tick there. Sounds great to me. get our drones in, and we're going to move on to our next area. Now, I did forget to let you guys know what the cost of this gila is now. It's up to 1.7 billion. And I know that that's not as cheap as the 600 million that I started with. But again, the 600 million could run up to T3s easily. I did manage to get it through a T4, but it was scary. It almost ended very badly, so I ended up just sticking with T3s and T4s until, or T3s and T2s until I got enough for the upgrades. Alright, so we've got a web fire here. We're going to take that out real quick. What was that notification? One of my friends logged on. Alright, now we're going to take out these Vetamax. We're going to start closing our orbit on that bioadaptive cache. Alright, looks like some of these guys are starting to come after my drones, which is alright. I mean, we've got a few of them. It's a little bit annoying, but they'll live.
Has run out of charges.
Alright, so I don't know if you guys caught what I did there, but I had a single NPC that was way out of the area and out of range for my missiles and everything, and they were hitting my drones. So I pulled the drones back to attack some of these closer targets, and then forced the NPC to get closer so that I could hit him with my missiles. With him being the type of NPC that he was pretty easy to take out with just missiles. These striker needle Teslas are pretty easy to take out, so I'm not too worried about them. We're going to go ahead and start reloading now. Alright, and we're still under 10 minutes and just getting to the last room. Which is a bit slower than I would like, to be honest, but it's not bad considering what I'm working with here. Alright, we got a battleship. Let's start our orbit at 5,000, start targeting the battleship and snare casters. Alright, let's see how this tank does if we just start getting in close. orbit the Stargate, or the transfer conduit. Forging conduit. Wow. Apparently I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Loot that and move on. Alright, so we're not going to be able to do hardly anything to these guys with the ammo we have left. Let's go ahead and reload, and we'll go back to shooting in just a moment. So it's not like this this battleship isn't doing damage to us. It's just not doing enough to make it so that our shield booster and resistances aren't keeping up with it. Alright, we have weapons back. Well, that's interesting. Could have sworn that this said I had 300 and something per 2.2 seconds. Alright, well, if I'm just crazy, go ahead and, you know, leave a comment, be like, yo, Christian, you're crazy here. That totally didn't save 300 and something per 2.2 seconds. It was always 503, but I'm pretty sure it said 300 something. Alright, let's help our drones out over here.
Has run out of charges.
Alright, let's recall drones and get out of here. We got 6 minutes and 30 seconds left. So that's not terrible time, but that was definitely not my best time. Alrighty. Well, looks like
Warp drive active.
looks like we only made a little bit of ISK this time. So we made a total of 17 million. So that's not terrible, but it's not great considering that we did spend about 10 million on the filaments that we ran today. So that was only about a 7 million ISK profit, which isn't great, but it's not terrible at the same time. A lot of times when you run T4s, you get closer to like 30, 40 million, and that's not including any great drops that you get. So with this one specifically, we just got bad drops today, which is fine. We'll definitely recover from it. I do have to go buy more filaments. And in order to buy more filaments, I do have to go over and sell some of my abyssal loot, which was only about 250 million worth or so, just because of the fact that with the losing of the Gila and having to replace everything, I am actually pretty tight on cash right now. Losing ships will do that to you. I've only got about 5 million ISK right now, but yeah. So overall, just wanted to stress again that, you know, it wasn't the best of runs. It was kind of slow. We didn't make a lot of ISK with it, but it was a T4 filament that we did run, and we're only at about 1.7 billion for a ship fitting. Now, I'm sure that I could drop either the Gistum or the Pithum. I'd probably drop the Gistum before I dropped the Pithum, and it would make us cap stable for 1 and only bring us down to about 65% EM resistances. But you know, almost 10%, that is significant. But we would be able to run it, but we would have to do all the strafing that that I did in my last video and that I started doing in this one. And again, it just the 600 DPS with everything that we've got on it is kind of low for me as well. If you guys look at any of my previous videos before I lost the Gila, I was running about 780 DPS ish. Now, don't get me wrong, if I were to put kinetic on, I'd be running about 780 DPS, so that's about the applied. But compared to where I was at, it's still kind of low, and it's kind of a bummer and all, but you know, you have to be able to go in and take the good with the bad. Sometimes you have to go in and restart and start back from fresh, especially if you did like what I did, where I pumped pretty much all my ISK into the one ship, and then I lost it, you know. So, you know, it just kind of serves as a lesson, if you will, not to put all your eggs in one basket, because, you know, if that basket cracks, you lose all your eggs. So overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more like it, please give me a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, you know, the entire drill. I am going to start working on some level 4 missions to go in and run a couple of tutorials on those. If you want to see more of that, let me know. Some fitting tutorials for PvE. I don't do a lot of PvE or PvP just yet, just because of, you know, a 5 million ISK wallet right now. But I am able to go in and make the money for it if I want to get into that. So if you want to see me start doing some PvP type stuff, I am really new into PvP, so you know, it'd be a good experience for me. It'd be really fun for you guys to watch a complete PvP noob get into it and start getting his trash kicked. Really, whatever you guys want me to do, just leave a comment. Let me know. Thanks again for watching Crash Test Games today, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great one.